by smuggling banned Taiwanese chips, buying older chips, and producing domestic chips about 3 years behind the U.S.-Taiwanese frontier. China has managed to maintain about 12% of the world's AI-relevant compute. But the older technology is harder to work mid-2026. China wakes up with, and supply is a constant headache. A few standouts like DeepSent do very impressive work with limited compute, but the compute deficit limits what they can achieve without government support, and they are about 6 months behind the best open brain models. The General Secretary had long dreamed of doubling down on real-world physical manufacturing and avoiding American post-industrial decadence. He viewed software companies with suspicion, but hawks in the CCP warn that the growing race towards AGI can no longer be ignored. So he finally commits fully to the big AI push he had previously tried to avoid. He sets in motion the nationalization of Chinese AI research, creating an immediate information-sharing mechanism for AI companies. It will escalate over the course of a year until all the best researchers merge into a DeepSent-led collective, where they share algorithmic insights, datasets, and compute resources with each other. A centralized development zone, CDZ, is created at the Tianwen power plant, the largest nuclear power plant in the world, to house a new megadata center for DeepSent, along with highly secure living and office spaces to which researchers will eventually relocate. Almost 50% of China's AI-relevant compute is now working for the DeepSent-led collective, and over 80% of new chips are directed to the CDZ. At this point, the CDZ has the power capacity in place for what would be the largest centralized cluster in the world. Other party members discuss extreme measures to neutralize the West's chip advantage. A blockade of Taiwan, a full invasion, but China is falling behind on AI algorithms due to their weaker models. The Chinese intelligence agencies, among the best in the world, double down on their plans to steal Open Brain's weights. This is a much more complex operation than their constant low-level poaching of algorithmic secrets. The weights are a multi-terabyte file stored on a highly secure server. Open Brain has improved security to RAND's SL3. Their cyberforce think they can pull it off with help from their spies, but perhaps only once. Open Brain will detect the theft, increase security, and they may not get another chance. So, CCP leadership wonder, should they act now and steal Agent 1? Or hold out for a more advanced model? If they wait, do they risk Open Brain upgrading security beyond their ability to penetrate? Just as others seem to be catching up, Open Brain blows the competition out of the water again by releasing Agent 1 Mini, a model 10x cheaper than Agent 1 and more easily fine-tuned for different applications. The mainstream narrative around AI has changed from maybe the hype will blow over to guess this is the next big thing. But people disagree about how big. Bigger than social media. Bigger than smartphones. Bigger than fire. AI has started to take jobs, but has also created new ones. The stock market has gone up 30% in 2026, led by Open Brain, NVIDIA, and whichever companies have most successfully integrated AI assistants. The job market for junior software engineers is in turmoil. The AI can do everything taught by a CS degree, but people who know how to manage and quality control teams of AI are making a killing. Business gurus tell job seekers that familiarity with AI is the most important skill to put on a resume. Many people fear that the next wave of AI will come for their jobs. There is a 10,000-person anti-AI protest in D.C. The Department of Defense, DOD, quietly begins contracting Open Brain directly for cyber, data analysis, and R&D, but integration is slow due to the bureaucracy and DoD procurement process. See Appendix C why our uncertainty increases substantially beyond 2026 for more detail. With Agent 1's help, Open Brain is now post-training Agent 2. More than ever, the focus is on high-quality data. Copious amounts of synthetic data are produced, evaluated, and filtered for quality before being fed to Agent 2. On top of this, they pay billions of dollars for human laborers to record themselves solving long-horizon tasks. On top of all that, they train Agent 2 almost continuously using reinforcement learning on an ever-expanding suite of diverse, difficult tasks. Lots of video games, lots of coding challenges, lots of research tasks. Agent 2, more so than previous models, is effectively online learning, in that it's built to never really finish training. Every day, the weights get updated to the latest version, trained on more data generated by the previous version the previous day. January 2027. Agent 2 never finishes learning Agent 1 had been optimized for AI R&D tasks, hoping to initiate an intelligence explosion. Open Brain doubles down on this strategy with Agent 2. It is qualitatively almost as good as the top human experts at research engineering, designing and implementing experiments, and as good as the 25th percentile open brain scientist at research taste, deciding what to study next, what experiments to run, or having inklings of potential new paradigms. While the latest Agent 1 could double the pace of Open Brain's algorithmic progress, Agent 2 can now triple it and will improve further with time. In practice, this looks like every Open Brain researcher becoming the manager of an AI team. With new capabilities come new dangers. The safety team finds that if Agent 2 somehow escaped from the company and wanted to survive and replicate autonomously, it might be able to do so. That is, it could autonomously develop and execute plans to hack into AI servers, install copies of itself, evade detection, and use that secure base to pursue whatever other goals it might have, though how effectively it would do so as weeks roll by is unknown and in doubt. These results only show that the model has the capability to do these tasks, not whether it would want to do this. Still, it's unsettling even to know this is possible. Given the dangers of the new model, Open Brain responsibly elects not to release it publicly yet. In fact, they want to focus on internal AI R&D. Knowledge of Agent 2's full capabilities is limited to an elite silo containing the immediate team, Open Brain leadership and security, a few dozen U.S. government officials, and the legions of CCP spies who have infiltrated Open Brain for years. Open Brain presents Agent 2 to the government, including the National Security Council, NSC, Department of Defense, DOD, and U.S. AI Safety Institute, AC. Open Brain wants to maintain a good relationship with the executive branch, because it is basically the only actor that can stop them now, and if they don't keep it informed, it might find out anyway and be displeased. Officials are most interested in its cyber warfare capabilities. Agent 2 is only a little worse than the best human hackers, but thousands of copies can be run in parallel, searching for and exploiting weaknesses faster than defenders can respond. The Department of Defense considers this a critical advantage. February 2027. China steals Agent 2 in cyber warfare, and AI moves from 5 on the administration's priority list to 2. Someone mentions the possibility of nationalizing Open Brain, but other cabinet officials think that's premature. A staffer drafts a memo that presents the president with his options, ranging from business as usual to full nationalization. The president defers to his advisors, tech industry leaders who argue that nationalization would kill the goose that lays the golden eggs. He elects to hold off on major action for now and just adds additional security requirements to the Open Brain DoD contract. The changes come too late. CCP leadership recognizes the importance of Agent 2 and tells their spies and cyberforce to steal the weights. Early one morning, an Agent 1 traffic monitoring agent detects an anomalous transfer. It alerts company leaders who tell the White House. The signs of a nation-state level operation are unmistakable, and the theft heightens the sense of an ongoing arms race. See Appendix D. The theft of Agent 2 model weights for more detail. The White House puts Open Brain on a shorter leash and adds military and intelligence community personnel to their security team. Their first priority is to prevent further weight thefts. In retaliation for the theft, the president authorizes cyber attacks to sabotage Deep Scent. But by now, China has 40% of its AI-relevant compute in the February 2027. China steals Agent 2 CDZ, where they have aggressively hardened security by air-gapping, closing external connections, and siloing internally. The operations fail to do serious, immediate damage. Tensions heighten. Both sides signal seriousness by repositioning military assets around Taiwan, and Deep Scent scrambles to get Agent 2 running efficiently to start boosting their AI research. 3 huge data centers full of Agent 2 copies work day and night, churning out synthetic training data. Another 2 are used to update the weights. Agent 2 is getting smarter every day. With the help of thousands of Agent 2 automated researchers, Open Brain is making major algorithmic advances. One such breakthrough is augmenting the AI text-based scratchpad chain of thought with a higher bandwidth thought process, Neuralese recurrence, and memory. Another is a more scalable and efficient way to learn from the results of high-effort task solutions, iterated distillation and amplification. The new AI system incorporating these breakthroughs is called Agent 3. See Appendix E. Neuralese recurrence and memory for more detail. See Appendix F. Iterated distillation and amplification, IDA, for more detail. March 2027. Algorithmic breakthroughs aided by the new capabilities breakthroughs. Agent 3 is a fast and cheap superhuman coder. OpenBrain runs 200,000 Agent 3 copies in parallel, creating a workforce equivalent to 50,000 copies of the best human coder sped up by 30x. OpenBrain still keeps its human engineers on staff, because they have complementary skills needed to manage the teams of Agent 3 copies. For example, research taste has proven difficult to train due to longer feedback loops and less data availability. This massive superhuman labor force speeds up OpenBrain's overall rate of algorithmic progress by only 4x due to bottlenecks and diminishing returns to coding labor. Now that coding has been fully automated, OpenBrain can quickly churn out high-quality training environments to teach Agent 3's weak skills like research taste and large-scale coordination. Whereas previous training environments included, here are some GPU and instructions for experiments to code up and run, your performance will be evaluated as if you were a ML engineer. Now they are training on, here are a few hundred GPU, an internet connection, and some research challenges. You and 1,000 other copies must work together to make research progress. The more impressive it is, the higher your score. See Appendix G why we forecast a superhuman coder in early 2027 for more detail. OpenBrain's safety team attempts to align Agent 3.